Welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of music. I'm a bit hyped here because today I am comparing the organ section on the Nord Stage 4 to the organ section on the Yamaha YC series. So these keyboards, I would say one of their strong suits is the organ. They've got physical drawbars with LEDs on both keyboards. They have different models of organs within them. They have rotary speaker effect, drive, vibrato, chorus, percussion, all that good stuff that you would expect with an organ engine. This is going to be a bit of a fun video where I'm just going to go through the sounds. I'm going to play you samples of the different organs. I'm not using any effects except for the rotary speaker on both these organ engines. So as we get into this, I'm going to be just kind of building organ sounds as we go here, tweaking settings, turning things on and off, and just kind of showing you the differences between these because, again, these keyboards or stage pianos kind of specialize in the organ component of it, as you can see from the front panel. So let's talk first, though, about the hardware because they've got physical drawbars, and I think that's an important part. It gives you that tactical feel, just like you're playing an actual organ. So on the Nord Stage 4, we have the drawbars here with the LEDs that indicate the value of the drawbar. Same thing on the Yamaha. I'd say the big difference, besides the shape, is a little bit different. The Nord Stage 4s are a little bigger and longer in terms of the drawbar that you're grabbing onto. The Yamaha YC are a little bit firmer or harder to move. They don't slide quite as easily as the Nord. It's not a huge difference, but I would say the Nord Stage 4 is just a little bit easier to slide those. There's more resistance on the Yamaha. Whether you like that or not, probably a personal preference thing. In either case, it really doesn't make a difference in terms of the playability in my mind. Sometimes if I want to do a quick adjustment, maybe it's a slightly quicker on the Nord Stage 4, but enough about that. The buttons themselves are a lot smaller or lower profile on the Yamaha than they are on the Nord Stage 4. Again, doesn't really matter. We're going to get in and start playing this thing. So let's jump right into it. I'll just show you a couple of things here with the organ settings on the Nord Stage 4. We have the tone wheel model here, Vintage 1 and Vintage 2, as well as clean. I'm going to keep it on Vintage 1. We have the click level, which is low, normal, high. Then we have the B3 organ keyboard trig, low and high. And then the rotary speaker type, we can switch between a 122 and a 122 closed. Rotary rotor speed, low, normal, high. And then the acceleration, low, normal, high. Horn speed, low, normal, high. Acceleration on the horn. And that's kind of your settings there for the organ. We're going to leave it kind of the way it comes on normal for all of those. Over on the Yamaha, we have similar settings. So if we go to settings, we go to sound, we have a couple around like the leak level and key click level for the organ, as well as what our pitch and mod wheels and stuff do. We also have this rotary speaker here. So the level of the horn and the rotor, we can change those. The background noise, stereo mono, the speed of the horn and the rotor, the acceleration of the horn and the rotor, the type, we have slot A. We're actually going to change that to studio because we want to make sure that the rotary speaker effect we're using is the latest one that came out in a firmware update after the keyboard was initially released. They updated and released a new rotary speaker effect, which is supposed to be more authentic. So we're going to make sure that we're on that studio, and then slot B is the overdrive. So we're going to leave that as is and back out of that. So if we play this, and I actually have my sustain pedal hooked to the rotary speaker. So with my sustain, I can tap it and switch between low and fast. On the Nord Stage 4, I just have the sustain pedal to sustain. So one thing on key feel here, I have the 88 wooden key version of the Yamaha YC, and I'll be honest, for organ playing, it's not ideal. They're a little sharp and a little heavy. It's doable, but I think the Nord Stage 4 88 key is a bit more versatile when it comes to being heavy enough for piano, but but light enough and has those little bit of rounded corners to allow for some of the slides which really burn and hurt your hand on the Yamaha YC88. So if organs is your thing, maybe the 88 Yamaha YC maybe isn't the one that you want to go with, but still produces some great sound. So let's jump right into that. I'm on the H1. So there's a few tone wheels, H1, H2, H3, and then there's some transistor style organs as well. On the Nord Stage 4, we have the B3, the Vox, the Farfisa, the transistor, and then we have some pipe and then the B3 bass. So that is new with the Nord Stage 4. We're going to start with the tone wheel on both of these. And what I'm going to do is just play a little bit here and mess with the drawbars, give you an idea of kind of, I'll start at 0 and I'll start to bring the drawbars in and just show you a little bit what these sounds can do. We're going to start with a slow rotary speaker first. Then we've got the H2. And the H3. Let's jump up to the tone wheels on the Nord Stage 4. Bring in that same chord progression in a slow rotary speaker. So great sounding organs on both of these. Let's go over to the Vox here. That's pretty cool. Let's check out the transistor style organs on both of these. Go to the F2 on here. So those F1 through 6. Come back, H1 through 3 are the tone wheels. The transistors are F1 through 6. Again, there's no effects on those except for the rotary speaker. So over here on the Nord Stage 4, we have our tone wheels and then our Farfisa here. And then our drawbars act as on-off switches now for our Farfisa. So if we come up here, so a couple other things we have on the Nord Stage 4 is we have pipe 1. Then we have pipe 2. So some really nice pipe organs there. And then the B3 bass, which I mentioned before. So that's something that maybe we could utilize the 2 layers, split that B3 bass down low, have our normal B3 up high, off to the races. So let's come over to the B3 here, and on H1 tone wheel setting, let's give ourselves a nice little B3 sound here and here. And let's give these rotary speakers a little comparison here. So I'm going to hit a couple of notes here and bring my rotary speaker from slow to fast, then back down to slow again, so you can kind of hear what that sounds like. Then we're going to do that same thing on the Yamaha YC tone wheel organ. So that's a little comparison between the rotary speaker effects on these two. I'll be honest. I don't know which one I like better. Well, not the real thing. They both sound pretty solid. We've got the vibrato, chorus, and percussion sections on both of these. So I'm going to leave the rotary speaker on slow for a second here. I'm going to turn on the vibrato and chorus. So we have 3 different choruses and 3 different vibratos here on the Nord Stage 4. So let's jump over to vibrato 1, chorus 1, vibrato 2, chorus 2, oops, I changed my organ model, vibrato 3, chorus 3. Now we have something similar on the Yamaha YC. Instead, we have a button that dictates whether it's vibrato or chorus, and then we have our 1, 2, 3 here down the side. So let's start with vibrato 1. We've got to make sure to turn our vibrato and chorus on. Number 2. And 3. And then chorus 1, chorus 2, and 3. Now, let's turn that off on both of these. Bring our percussion on. So our percussion, we have volume soft or not, decay fast, and harmonic third. Now here we have second or third, slow or fast, and normal and soft. So pretty similar in terms of our settings. Now let's bring this in. So in terms of the organ section on the Yamaha YC, we've been talking about this pretty much strictly in terms of our upper organ section here. But if we switch to the lower, we can now tweak the settings for the lower portion of our organ. And the way that we can split these together is with this split button down here. You'll notice that it has an L and a U. by that split button. So right now, without anything set on the split, it's going to play whichever one we're set to here. So we've been on the upper. If we switch to the lower, we can change our vibrato chorus settings as well as our drawbars and things like that for our lower. Now where this gets cool is we can use this split button and we can either turn both of them on, and you'll notice our screen now shows our lower and our upper, and the split point's right around here. Now, we can tap on this and we can just have the upper. So down here is going to be silent. Or we could do our lower. And then again, if we turn it off, then the whole key bed is the upper or the lower. So again, combination of these two, upper and lower, if no split is set, determines which one is on the key bed. And if we hit split, it's either both of them together with the split point here, or we can do upper and lower separately. So some really cool functionality. While there aren't two full layers like there are on the Nord Stage 4. So we could accomplish something similar here by using our two layers, turning both of those on at once. Maybe in the bottom, we put the B3 bass, and that's down here. And then in our upper, we're going to put the B3. But right now, it's laid over the whole thing. So we could hold down on our split, and we could adjust our split point down to about the same spot right here, our green light. So now over here on our organ section, we tap our first layer, which is our B3 bass. We can hold shift and we can tap on this lower zone here. And then for our second layer, which is our B3, we want to pull that out of the bass. So we're just going to hold shift and tap so that the keyboard zone for our B3, and then it switches to our B3 bass in the lower section. So there you go, accomplish the same type of split or kind of lower upper split that we have on the Yamaha YC. Can do that with the Nord Stage 4 utilizing those two layers. So very similar in how we can functionally use these organs. We can do some cool things. We can tie the rotary speaker like I've got on the Yamaha to the sustain pedal. We can do that same thing on the Nord Stage 4 if we wanted. You can kind of set up the controls on these. Sometimes I'll do the pitch wheel. We'll turn the rotary speaker slow and fast on the Yamaha. So you can kind of do different things there, foot pedals, switches, things like that. They've both got quite a bit of input and output capabilities. So if you don't want to be reaching up and hitting the slow and fast, you can just plug a control switch or even a rotary pedal into the Nord Stage 4 and use that to control the rotary speaker effect and things like that. Both of these organ sections are extremely capable, have a lot of different ways you can tweak them, and when you combine them with the effects on both of these keyboards, you can get some really cool stuff. So you'll notice on the Yamaha, you have live sets with pre-built presets of organs. And we have this organ preset section on the Nord Stage 4. So come in here. Really cool stuff. A lot of sounds and functionality built in. Let me know what you think, because I'll be honest, I'm not sure which organ I like best. I think there's scenarios where both kind of shine, and I think if I were to go into a fight with either of these, I would be okay. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Which organ do you think is better? Most of what I play is tone wheel organs if we're gonna play organs somewhere. So that's mostly what I've messed with here, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. Obviously, these are not the real thing, but they do a pretty good job of replicating that, and I wanna know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was a fun video for you if you're looking just at what the differences are between the Nord Stage 4 and the Yamaha YC series, or you're looking to buy a new stage keyboard, trying to figure out which one's the right one for you. Hopefully this video is helpful and insightful. Thanks for watching, stay inspired, and keep making that music.